morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. So, today I am going to talk about haters gonna hate, because they are gonna hate. Haters are gonna hate, people. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there's nothing you should want to do about it. The only hater you should be concerned with is yourself. That's it. That's it. Thank those who are haters, because they really show you so much. Like I said yesterday in a lot of previous videos before this one, everything that happens to you is a lesson in love. Period. Whether it's someone else or yourself, you are getting a lesson in love. So, when someone hates you, what does that mean? Well, it means that there's some kind of inadequacy within themselves. That's the only reason why there's frustration dwelling within and swirling within their being. So, let the haters hate, because haters are going to hate, and they should. They should continue to hate as long as they have that within them. It's a disservice to you, and it's a disservice to others if you feel something and you don't express it. It's the only way for you to see something that dwells within you, and it's the only way to see that something dwells within someone else. Now, the people who are truly phony, who really hate you and they're undercover and they don't want to let anybody see that they're haters, these are people who suffer the most, and it's a bit more difficult for you to read them, but as you grow in love, you can see the itty-bitty signs, and once you see the itty-bitty signs, you already know. You already know. You already know to watch out. You already know not to trust them. There's so many different things that are of great benefit when you recognize these things. So, you know, when people hate me, people hate me left and right for many different reasons. Yesterday, actually, which I thought was kind of comical. Let me turn on some air because it is kind of hot. I was getting this lane like some fool. Let's get out of it. Okay, let's get out of that lane. Get out of that lane. This person on the phone about to hit me in the back. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so yesterday I was on my way. I went out to get lunch, and I was on my way back, and I was turning into the driveway. And obviously, I've told you guys that I work, in a mental health setting. So there's crazy people all over the place. There's demons running around, right? So I'm in back of this car. We're on the street, and she's about to turn into the driveway. And I'm right behind her, but there's a car coming out of the driveway. So she feels she can't make the turn. She feels the radius of her, she just didn't think that she could make it. So she just stopped. And so the car pulled, went onto the street and went on about their business. But then there was another car waiting to turn in. So this lady, stops, and she's kind of looking, and I'm right behind her. And she turns into the driveway. I turn into the driveway, and out of nowhere, she just stops her car. Just stops. And I'm like, and then she put on her hazard lights, and I'm like, what's going on, right? And like, it was just as soon as we pulled into the driveway, so I'm looking, I'm like, okay, but I didn't feel like there was something wrong with her car because of the way she stopped. It wasn't like a slow roll, I'm having trouble, let me try to get as far as I can. No, this heifer put, and so I had to go, so we were both sitting there, and I couldn't go around because there's other cars coming out. So I'm just looking at, what she's doing, and so she hangs her head out of the window and starts yelling at me, talking about go around. Now, I didn't know what she was yelling at first because my windows were up. And so she was yelling, and then I was like, okay. I'm like, what is she yelling at me for, right? So, like I said, I couldn't go around, which was going to be my next step anyway, so I can go on about my business. So the two cars are kind of looking because they think she's about to turn into, like, one of these, I don't know, where all the cars park. So the lines, or whatever, the lanes. So they were stopped. They weren't coming my way to leave. So everyone was just kind of like stuck. And so I guess they saw her yelling her head out the window. And so they finally came, because I couldn't go because they were right there. They were in their lane, and I would have had to go into their lane in order to go around this lady. So nobody could go anywhere. And she's yelling, "Go around! Yeah, you can go around! You can wait!" Like, she's just yelling, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, this lady. I go, she's so miserable. Like, this is, I don't know the lady. I didn't say anything to the lady, but out of nowhere, she just wanted to take out her rage on me. And I'm okay with it, like, because I know it's not swirling around in me. Like, I didn't have a reaction. I just looked at her and shook my head, like, you know, it's really sad that, you know, you're in this state, because people who are in this state do not know that they're in this state. A demon does not know that they're a demon. You tell them they're a demon, they won't believe it. You tell them they're degraded, they won't believe it, because they can't see it. They can't see past. Number one, they can't see their pain, which is why they're in pain. Because if they could see their pain, then they would have some kind of opportunity to heal themselves from that pain. And I did give them an opportunity, because I did not respond. I did not continue with the rage and the anger. I didn't give it back in return. So I let this lady know, even if she didn't recognize it, it was an opportunity for her to see something that she generally doesn't see. Because in the hood, you say something, someone's going to say something back. That's just the way that it is, because haters are going to hate. And the thing is, you're presented with these people to show you, and this is what I'm saying, look, everything is a law of attraction, as I said yesterday. So I'm her law of attraction, she's my law of attraction. She's showing me some of the things that are still within me, because even though I don't respond in like, that doesn't mean I don't have that within my soul. I just choose to do better because I know better. That's the difference. People like her can't choose to do better because they don't know better. All they know is the anger within their soul. All they know is the rage within their soul. They don't know anything else. Like I said, I think in the video previous to this one, you can know what's right. You can know what, you can understand things intellectually. It could be all intellectual, but that doesn't mean that you give yourself the opportunity to do better. It doesn't mean that just because you know better, you will do better. It doesn't mean that. You really have to understand it on a soul level. You have to know it on a soul level. It has to be on a feeling level. You have to understand why you would be doing things like this to prevent. Hold on a second. Because I think. All right, we gotta get a little crafty. Here. Okay, so. They can't see it. And the intellectual aspect of it, you can know a lot. Trust me, there's a lot. If you've ever watched any of AJ's videos and you see all the the fools in the audience, they're there like I don't know how many times. Just, you know, AJ does videos or seminars or whatever, but they're there. They listen all the time. They have one-on-one interaction with him. They, you know, understanding is had on an intellectual level, but they still ask the same questions that they asked when they first moved in, well, when they first came in, and they try to justify their reasoning, their thinking, their feeling about something. And just because they know better and they can teach it to other people does not mean that they're able to do it and use it for themselves. And that's with anything, absolutely anything. How many people do you know give advice, but they're in the same situation, and the same situation as you, but they're giving you advice on how to fix it, but yet they can't use that same advice to fix it themselves in their own lives? That's because they don't have an understanding on a soul level. But anyway, back to haters. Love the haters. Don't love them like, you know, how should I say? Turn my air up. It's getting hot in here. It's 72 degrees outside, and it's only 6:30. It should be cooler. It's gonna be a hot one today. All right, so haters, haters. What was I gonna say? Haters. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Let's see. So love love the haters. Don't love them in the sense of, you know, being nice to them or doing things for them because you don't want to get them angry. That's not loving them. Loving them oftentimes is leaving them the hell alone. Let them be how they want to be, and let them continue to attract people who are like them, who will interact with them on a level that only they know how to interact. That's how you love someone, is let them be who they choose to be based on their desire, based on their will. It is their free will. They have a right to desire whatever it is that they desire. And if they desire to hate, if they desire to be angry, then let them do that. Let them do that for as long as they need to, until they see something within themselves that they don't like, and they have a desire to change it. So you can't hate the haters, because if you hate the haters, you're no different than the hater, because you're a hater too. So like I said, there's a lot of people who hate me for many different reasons. There's a lot of people who hate me at work, but understand the reason why people hate. Because there's something that they're lacking. There's something in you that they see that they are not and they like. And so they hate the fact that you are the way you are and they are the way that they are. That's all a hater is. If a hater hates rich people, you know why they hate them? Well, it's because they don't have. If you look at people who have money, who hate people who are who don't have money, I mean, there's a lot of rich people who can't stand poor people. Well, why is that? Well, there's something within them, within the people that they hate, that they admire, that they like. There's a certain freedom that poor people have that rich people don't. Well, why is that so loud? There is a lot of freedom that, and this is something that, you know, people will say, well, that doesn't make any sense. Well, it does make sense, because why did my air conditioner turn off? Then turn back on. We having some technical difficulties. Oh, probably because it's the same temperature outside. I'm getting out of this lane because I can see way up there. That's not a good spot to be in the moment. Oh, yeah, there's stop. We're gonna get in this lane, and then we're gonna get in the other lane. We're gonna swoop back around. So, I should say in this lane. So yeah, back to the rich people, poor people. There's a lot of freedom that poor people have because they do anything and everything they want. Now, people who have money, they're very limited in terms of what they can do, because there's a code. There's a code that they must live by in order to be accepted by those who are wealthy like them. You must act a certain way, you must eat a certain way, you must hold your utensils a certain way. Poor people don't give a shit. They'll eat with their hands. They'll eat with a dirty fork. They'll eat with whatever. The fork will fall on the ground. They'll pick it up and eat it. Like, there's a lot of freedom. And I'm not saying that rich people want this. They want to do those things because they try their hardest not to do those things. But it's the sense of freedom. And that's what is appealing, is the freedom for them to not have obligations, to not work 15 hours a day in order to maintain their salary. There's a trade-off. There's always a trade-off, but there's always something that haters hate that they wish they had. Always. So, I know people used to, hate me, and they used to call me a know-it-all, and they're like, well, what's the reason why someone would call me a know-it-all and hate me? Because they don't know certain things. Because there's certain things that I have answers to that they don't. And so it's frustrating for you to feel and believe that you're better than someone else, and at the same time be proven that you don't know as much as the other person. Of course you're going to hate them, because the facade that you're presenting as if you're better than someone is being shot to shit. There's all kinds of holes in it. And so you can't hold water. Oh my gosh, I have run into so many people who hate me because I can see their lives so clearly. In the beginning, they're like, oh wow, this is so cool, I'm finding out about myself. But after a while, it's like, fuck, I still can't get it. Why can't I get it? Why can't I get it? God, this guy gets on my nerves because he knows everything and I don't know. I don't know my own life. And that's really what happens. So haters are gonna hate. People have stopped talking to me for that exact reason. And so, why is it beneficial to me? Because it's showing me the truth. It's showing me why they're angry, while at the same time showing me what I have. So if someone's angry because they have a raggedy car and you have a new car, understand the blessing that you have. Understand the hatred is showing you a loving lesson. The lesson is be grateful for what you have. Be grateful that you're not angry. Be grateful that you're not rageful. Be grateful that you're not being used. Be grateful that, you know, you haven't gotten yourself in a position where now your life is kind of screwed because of the choice that you made. Just be grateful. That's all it is. That's all a hater is showing you is something that you should be grateful for. You know, if someone is walking around and they're disabled and because there's a lot of people who are disabled and they hate people who aren't disabled, and so they come across as angry. You know, they're like, wow, ooh, he's so angry. Well, of course this person's angry. They don't have the freedom that you have. They don't have the abilities that you have. So there's a lack being had. There's always a lack. That's what that's what being a hater is all about. You knowing that there's something within you that you lack. So you gotta hate the people who have, because you can't, or they can't figure out why they can't have what you have. Why can't you have money? Why can't you have a good relationship? Why do you have to have a relationship where you're beaten left and right, where you're always arguing, where, you know, you're always struggling, where, you know, all these different sufferings and painful events, people can't figure out why they are experiencing these things, and so they hate the fact that they're in it. But what they do, since they can't look at themselves, they have to hate the people who have it. And that's what a hater is. So let the haters hate, because they're showing you and they're showing themselves. Every person who hates is showing themselves, is giving themselves an opportunity to not do that. So every time I see someone that is doing something and I can recognize that I'm either like that or I have been like that, I have complete understanding in that moment. In that moment, I'm like, whoa, I used to be that. And I understand why I used to be that. I understand how I felt when I was like that. And so that understanding allows me to have compassion. So how can you have hatred when you have compassion? This is why it's so important to understand. But like I said many times before, you have to have a willingness to understand. This has to be a desire of yours. And it's a desire of mine to understand. It's a desire of mine to improve myself. Not to be better than anybody else, but to improve myself. Being better than someone else really isn't a thing, but sometimes you are more loving than others. And that is the result. That is the consequence of you loving yourself, of you having understanding, of you having compassion, of you having love. That's the consequence. The consequence is it's gonna be in your favor. You're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to be thankful for the things that you have. You're going to see where you fell short in the past. That allows you to apologize. That allows you to be remorseful. That allows you to, what Christians call, repent for the things that they've done to others. That's the only way you're going to be able to see yourself accurately. That's the only way you're going to be able to heal your soul, is by being able to look at yourself and kind of cross-reference all these, oh yeah, you had enough room there. You have so many opportunities to improve yourself. Yes. I improve myself all the time. Every time I see someone angry, I'm like, well, I used to be angry over that bullshit. Glad I'm not anymore. Or it reinforces the path that I'm on to not be. So I'm not saying that I never get angry, I never get irritated, I never get agitated, because I do. And when I do, in that moment, I'm like, okay, this I know isn't right. I know it's unloving. What am I feeling? Oh, now I get it. Now I can forgive myself and forgive others from past interactions, because that's what it's all about, healing yourself, right? So recognizing what you've done, not just in the present, but what you've done in the past, and allow yourself an opportunity to heal from that. So you're thankful for what you have. You feel sorry for the things that you've done, how you've treated people, how you've treated yourself, most importantly, how you've treated yourself. Because understand, if you hate someone and you do something to someone and it hurts them, you've hurt yourself first. So you've done damage to yourself before you even did damage to them. the damage was already done as you were conspiring to do what you did to the other person. The thoughts and the feelings that you were projecting before you even did anything, before you even took any action, all that damage was being done internally. It was being stored, developed and stored within your soul. So you hurt yourself first. So this is why you have to apologize to yourself. You're like, I'm sorry that I did this to myself. I'm sorry that I hurt myself, because when I do that, I hurt my chances of having a better experience. Now I have to contend with karma because I got all this bullshit swirling around in me. And, hold on, I need some coffee. The air is so dry. Yesterday was like 2%. I was like, oh my gosh. Going to sleep was a little difficult because it was so dry. And I was on Amazon about to buy a humidifier. I'm like, do I really need this? So I was like, just let me get some coconut oil and put that stuff in my nose, and that worked like a charm. By the way, if you're in a dry climate area and you have coconut oil or something like that, just rub that stuff in your nose. It won't be dry anymore, and you'll have a good night's sleep. All right, so back to what I was saying. So, you know, allow these haters to help you. Allow them to help you. Like, even yesterday, there's this girl who, well, there's a bunch of them, but they can't stand me for whatever reason. They have their own reasons. And it's not me because I didn't do anything, but there's something that they honed in on and they have identified, and now they're projecting their anger and rage at me. And my thing is, I don't force myself to communicate with people when I know they don't like me. I'm not the type to be, oh, hi, how are you? Because I understand these people don't like me. Therefore, they don't want to have anything to do with me. And I understand it's not for real reasons, but I would be a fool to, it's okay, let's just do this. Let's say it like this so there's a better understanding. If there's a pile of shit, all right, and you interact with that shit, guess what's going to get on you? Exactly. Guess what's going to get on you? The shit. So what's the best course of action? To walk around the shit. Leave it alone. Acknowledge that it's there and walk around it. Because just like shit, a person can be very unpleasant. Alright, I'll just say that. They can be very unpleasant. So, what does that mean? They're going to do something to you that's going to not set right with you. Because shit can only do one thing, and that's be what it is. Until it is no longer that. Until it is no longer that. It will remain that. And so it's no different than a soul. A soul will be dark until they change it and make it not dark anymore. Until they lighten their soul, until they add more love to their soul, until they release some of the degradation within their soul. I'm going to roll the window down for a little bit since I'm not flying around. Until those things happen, they will remain dark. And that means they will continue to do things that are associated with dark people, with darkness within their soul, with degradation within their soul, with which, you know, is basically a demon, you know. So their demonic ways will continue to be exuded, and you never know when it's going to happen because you don't know all what's in someone's soul. And so the smallest of things can trigger them. You can put cream in your coffee and like, oh my God, you use that stuff's bad for you. Like, you can do anything and they'll just go in on you. You can wear a red beret and they'll say, oh my gosh, I hate red berets because my mom used to put red berets on me and all these bad memories. Look, this is what I'm saying. Shit can only be shit. Dark souls can only be dark souls until they're no longer that anymore. So, do you want to interact with something that can get on you and be unpleasant? No. So, I make a choice. I'm like, okay, you don't want to be bothered with me? I won't be bothered by you. I'll just let you do your thing. You don't have to acknowledge me, and understand they're going to hate you for that too. They're just going to hate. But the difference is you being involved in it. Shit is going to smell shitty. Darkness is going to continue to exude dark things, dark ways, exude dark energy. It's just the way that it is. So until they change, you have to make a choice. Do you want to be bothered with it? Do you want the stink on you? Because if you don't want the stink on you, then you need to leave them alone. So you know what? I understand. You can just say, look, I know you don't understand. I know you don't like me. for whatever reason, that's your business, that's your choice. But, you know, I don't like being on the receiving end of it, so I'm just going to leave you alone. All right, I'm going to help you help yourself. Since you say I'm doing this to you and I'm causing you all this turmoil, I'm going to leave you alone because I don't want to be the recipient of whatever it is that you're feeling that day. And just let it be. At least you've established something. You don't have to worry about anything. But that doesn't mean to hate them. I'm not saying to hate them. I'm not saying to dismiss them. I'm saying honor what they want. Because if they don't like you and they don't want to be bothered with you and they want to shun you and do all these different things to not include you, they're already letting you know what the preference is. All you're doing is honoring their preference. That's all you're doing. Say, okay, be an angry, miserable person, and that's it. Good luck with that. I hope you change, because, you know, there are people who don't like me, people who hate me, and I think they're beautiful people. They can be beautiful people if they didn't have all this stuff within them that they were contending with. If they weren't bogged down by all this darkness, look, every single soul on the planet is a beautiful soul and can exude beautiful things and be loving if they didn't have the crap within them. Because the Creator did not create any ugly souls. The Creator did not create any bad souls. The Creator did not create anything that is negative, that is dark. So if the souls did not have the darkness within them, then they would be beautiful beings. So yes, we are all beautiful beings if we didn't have the crap within our soul. If we didn't have to contend with that which dwells within our soul, we wouldn't be these miserable, angry people. We wouldn't be haters. But being that most people are, you have to be aware of it, and you have to know how to handle it. You have to know how to navigate. And sometimes that means navigating around them. Sometimes it means not dealing with them. You know, if someone is dark and they want help, then yes, you interact with them. You know, you can say, hey, you know what? I don't know why you don't like me, but, you know, I don't think I did anything to you. If I did do something to you, please let me know. And we can work that out, or we can work on it. But, you know, this van, is he on his damn phone? Because he was swerving on the freeway. Not on the freeway, but on that little stretch. He was like, just like he's swerving all over the place now. Stupid fool. There's too many cars for that. So, anyway, so, you know, you say to him, hey, you know, did I do anything to you? It's like, let me know, you know. And if there's anything that I can do, if there's anything that is bothering that you need help with, if anything is bothering you that you need help with, let me know. Maybe I can help. Maybe I can, you know, maybe I know someone who can help. You know, look, hey, we all work in mental health, so, you know, there's always an opportunity for someone to talk to. Jesus, I mean, how many therapists and psychiatrists are walking around, you know, who you can talk to. Hello? I mean, and it's free. You don't even got to go through your insurance. It's just a candid conversation with another person, you know, but that's just too much, like, right, but whatever, you know. So you offer, and then you just remove yourself from the equation. You know, nobody wants to be in an equation where there's pain. Nobody wants to be in that. But guess I'll turn it down to 70. But, you know, then you leave them alone. You let the haters hate. Let them hate. They're going to hate you. Like I said to you in the beginning, you can't change this. So just allow them to hate you from afar. Don't allow them to hate you when you're up close where they can harm you. Get away from the harm. You don't stay around dangerous people. When you see someone crazy on the street, understand this, people. When you see someone crazy acting a fool on the street and you know something's mentally going on with them, emotionally going on with them, you stay away. You're like, let me stand back here, because you could throw some punches, you can throw some things. I don't want to get hurt because I don't know what's going on with you. Something is obviously going on with you. I don't know exactly what it is, but I know enough to stay back. And this is how I deal with people who are degraded. I just leave them alone. I cease in my interaction. I allow them to come to me and ask me, but I do not go to them. Sorry, it's not going to happen. And actually, no, I'm not sorry, because I'm protecting myself, and I guess what I'm doing is I'm also removing a component from that person in order that they would use in order to become more angry. So if they're angry anyway, I just don't want to be involved in it. Someone is going to be involved in it. It's just not going to be me. I can't be the cooperative component to that. I can't allow you to lash out at me, and I can't allow myself to be lashed out upon. I have a feeling I'm gonna make the light. Alright, so, oh, they're redoing this? It looks like they're redoing this. There was nothing wrong with this part of the road. There was nothing wrong with this. This road was fine. See, they need to go where the potholes are. Anyway, well, I know there was something here, but I don't think they're gonna fix it. Anyway, yeah, let the haters hate people. Let the haters hate. And if you're a hater, don't be surprised if people start... Now, this part was bad. Don't be surprised when people start walking away from you. Don't be surprised when they start leaving you. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. People will vanish. And let me tell you, you'll say, I thought you were a friend, you just left. Of course they left. Who wants to be in the presence of people who are going to hurt them? Who wants to be in the presence of people who are going to attack them? And for no reason. For no reason. People are attacked for being black. People are attacked for being white. Look, it goes both ways, people. There are so many black people who hate white people. They just make fun of them left and right. But they don't want anybody to make fun of them. You know, so it goes both ways. You know, people are getting what they deserve. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. People are getting what they're getting based on what's dwelling within their soul. And whatever's in your soul, you deserve. Because the universe says you can have whatever you want. And you will get all the things that are dwelling within your soul. Because whatever's in your soul, you're telling the universe that's what you want. That's what you're saying. So... why am I doing my hands like Bernie Sanders? I'm not voting for no Bernie Sanders. I'm doing my hand when I'm talking. When Bernie Sanders talks, he moves his hand like one of those heart monitors at the hospital. Every time he makes a point, that's funny. That's so funny. I don't even watch Bernie Sanders. That's weird. But maybe I saw a clip on YouTube. That's probably what it is. Oh, I did watch it yesterday. I watched part of the debate. That's probably what it is. So anyway, back to what I was saying. You want to come over? Oh, you guys are just last minute. Gotta get over. Well, how about you guys occupy all that? I'll occupy all of this. So, you know, what was I saying when I was doing my hand like that? That's so funny. That is so funny. That which dwells within your soul you will get, because that's what you're telling the universe that you want. So you're getting what you deserve. Why? Because you feel you deserve it. Why? Because it's within your soul. Even if you don't know it, you're gonna get it. You know, so just like you get nice law of attraction things happening, like you win the lottery or someone gives you something, you're like, oh, I can't believe this, I can't believe I got this. Well, it was in your soul. You didn't know it was there, but it was there. So the same thing happens for all the stuff that you don't want, that you will be getting. It's all happening to us, people. It's all happening to us. But the goal is to clean up your soul and slowly but surely change your law of attraction. My law of attraction has changed. I used to hate being poor. I used to hate it. I used to hate not being able to go out and buy what I want. I used to hate it growing up. Growing up poor, you just hate it. And you hate the people who have it. And you don't even realize you're doing it. And you're not angry at the people who have it. You're just angry. But you're looking at what people have, and so you project the anger upon that person because they have and you don't. And this is how people are living, and they don't understand what's happening. But since I've let go of that hate, things have changed for me financially. And I'm happy with it. You know, of course I'm happy with it. And as I become more comfortable with it and more happy with it, more opportunities and more paths and avenues will open up, more doors will open up, more windows will open up. It just, the universe opens up and these things start coming in. And I'm enjoying it because it's slowly but surely happening. But it's only slowly happening because I'm slowly working on myself. And it's not something that you can force, people. It is not something you can force. It's not like you're going to write down a list and say, okay, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to get rid of that, because that's all intellectual. It's all intellectual, which is why people fail, which is why people go to Abraham Hicks conferences and they watch the videos and they try to do whatever it is that, you know, Abraham says to do, or New Age, you know, law of attraction teachers say do. It doesn't, not just Abraham, it's all of them. They all say do this. So learning it on an intellectual level, they're not making soul progress. You cannot make soul progress if you're understanding it with your mind. You must understand it with your soul in order to make soul progress. You must feel it. You must understand why, on a feeling level, why it's not good to do the things that you're doing that are negative, that are dark. Why isn't it good to use someone? There's someone who, you know, you give them an inch, they take a mile. You know, these are people who are willing to use you for whatever they can. You know, and if you're this person, and there are a lot of people out there, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? If anybody is asking you to do something, it's because they don't have the capacity to do it themselves. They cannot attract it. They cannot even force themselves physically to make it happen. They just can't. Maybe I can get breakfast. Last time it was closed. We'll try again. Because I think they don't open right at 7. You know, it's like a mom and pop shop. They open when they want. There really aren't any standards in that respect. Again, going back to people who, the rich and the poor. You know, a person who is wealthy is going to be on point in terms of their business, you would think. Most times they are. You know, they open right at a certain time. They make sure they hire people that can do the job well and do it consistently, which is, ooh, Lord Jesus. See, people just, they don't care. Because these are demons. These are demons, people, I'm telling you. This is why it's so important to know what these things are. You know, why would someone walk in the middle of the street? It's a red light for them, a green light for you. I still cannot believe that the speed limit is 35 when there's a school. That just really blows my mind. Maybe it's like a private school. I don't know. Maybe you have to pay to get a school. I don't know. It really blows my mind. Anyway, you know, these people who walk in the middle of the street. I saw one person, you see right there, there's on that curb, there was a man who was on the street part of it where the little ramp thing to go up, and he didn't go up. He was just sitting there in the street. And if cars need to, you know, turn, and he's he's putting himself in harm's way. You know, it's like these are demons because they don't care about their life, which means they won't care about anybody else's. And because of that, because they have lived their life that way, they are in the position that they're in right now. People who don't care will suffer. If they don't care about others, that means they don't care about themselves. And if they don't care about themselves, they will have degradation within their soul. Therefore, they will have degradation within their body. Therefore, they will suffer and be limited in terms of what they can do. That's just the way of it. So anyway, these people who will use you, you know, they darken their soul, you know, and you have to stay away from these people. But there's some people who can't. There are some people who cannot stay away from these people because their soul calls for it, because they are a match. They are, they're a, what is, I always say it, what is it? They are cooperative component. They are a cooperative component to who you are. And you may not see it because you have a facade going on. And you're like, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. That dumb bitch. I ain't like you, you stupid whore. And you guys are arguing about sleeping with each other's men. So, or sleeping with each other's girlfriend. So this is what I'm saying. Anybody who hates a hater, you're no different than the hater. Because a loving person doesn't hate. A loving person has no hate within them. There's no reason to hate because there's love inside. So you cannot claim to be a loving person while at the same time hating somebody or saying, oh my gosh, you get on my nerves, you piss me off. This is a form of hatred, and this makes you a hater. And you cannot claim to be loving if you are annoyed all the time, if things piss you off. Like, I'm not saying I'm a loving person. Please do not get me wrong. Do not think that or believe, or you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that I am a completely 100% loving person. I'm loving on some things. I'm not loving on other things or about other things, because there's certain things that I'm not aware of, and there's certain things that I'm working on. That's the truth. So you have to look at yourself in the same way. You have to see where you fall short, because if you cannot do this, then you cannot become a more loving person. You will remain a hater. And a hater is gonna hate, and a hater is gonna experience dark events. All kinds of things are gonna happen. People are gonna take advantage of you. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose things. Things are gonna get damaged. It's just, look, you're gonna experience suffering. That's the bottom line. So don't be a hater. Be a lover, not a fighter. Is it open? No. See, these people, they don't like to open. It's already 7:08. They're not even open. See? Last time I asked them, what time you open? Oh, about 7, sometimes around that time. I'm like, oh, see, look. That's what I meant about the rich and the poor. You know, it's like, poor people have this freedom. They do whatever they want when they want to do it. You know, but the people who don't care, and they expect everyone to care about them, they're not able to make it as the person who has money. There's a reason why the people who are rich are rich, because they're operating on a different level. They're operating with a different set of standards. And this is why the poor people can't stand the rich people, because they can't understand why. You go to any store in the hood. Just go into a store in the hood and see how you're treated. The standards are low. It's almost like there aren't any standards. People operate their mom and pop shop like their home. They do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. The rules shift and change. There's no standard. And they treat you like shit. Like, they sure do. They treat you like shit. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I won't be coming back here. And then they wonder why they can barely make it. Well, that's why. You treat people with dignity and respect, and they want to come back. And I'm not saying that big stores or big businesses, always treat you like that, because they hire some people who are very degraded too. They hire people who are degraded and make themselves look bad, and so they wonder why their business is failing. There's a lot of stores out there who are huge, and they made their money, but they can't maintain it. Why? You go to like a Dollar Tree or a 99-cent store or anything like that in the hood, and you'll see it's dirty, and things are thrown all over the place, and they don't get it. They don't get it. But you go to a different store, and it's clean, the people are respectful, and it's a joy to go in there. It's very pleasant. How did I get stuck in this stuff? I should have taken Arlington. Anyway, I'm done with that because I'm tired. Tired of talking. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye now.